Hey Fox, good afternoon and welcome back to my channel. So, in the series of interview problems for the placement, this one is the new new video regarding the two sum problem, and it is very common problem, and we will deep dive into this and understand the underlying logic in that, as well as we will code live. And apart from this, we will discuss the time complexity and overall space complexity and what is the brute force approach, as well as what must be the optimal solution. So we will cover all kind of uh, issues related to this problem. Okay, so I hope you will enjoy this session. So let's begin. See here in the screen, you are seeing a array of numbers. Okay, so this array of numbers consists of random numbers. It might be the case that it may be sorted manner. Okay, it may be in sorted manner. So what is the underlying question? First of all, question says that find a pair of number, means find two numbers such that you meet a target. Let's suppose here that the target is 0. Target is 0. Okay, so what will be the two numbers from this array, so that if we sum them, then we reach the target. Like if in our case the target is 0, that's why, see this, minus 3 and 2 will give minus 2. So these two numbers cannot be the pair. Likewise 2 and 0, if we sum them, we will be getting 2. That is not equal to 0. So they are not our desired answer. Similarly, 0 and 4, if we sum, we get the 4. We are not getting 0. Our target is 0. Okay. So, but we can see here that if we sum minus 3 and this 3, we can get 0. So, this number and this number can be our solution. But see here, we are not considering the solution. We want the indices of the numbers. Okay, indices of the numbers, which we, if you sum them, then we will getting the target value. So here, if minus 3 and 3, if we sum them, we will getting 0. Okay, then we will return the indices of these two numbers. Okay, so here the indices of this is 0 and 3, 3, 6 and 7 elements are there. So here the indices of this 3 is 6. So we will return the 0 and 6. Okay, likewise if these numbers will not be there, then if we sum 4 and minus 4, we can get 0 as well. Okay, so what are the indices of these two numbers? 3 and 4. Okay, so we will return the indices of those numbers, okay, which can be summed up to get the target value. And it is also the case that whenever we reach the, it is given in the question that only unique pair is existing. Okay, there are no such kind of, there are no more than one pairs. Likewise in our problems there are a lot of pairs, but in actual problem there always exist a unique pair. Okay, so we don't have to bother about whether the pair exists or not. It is mandatory in the question. So what will be the, first of all, till now I think that you will be getting the what the question says. So I am repeating again that question is all about finding a pair of numbers whose sum equal to the target, and return the indices, the index of the those two numbers in the array. Okay, so what must be the brute force approach? So as we require two numbers, what we can do, we can take minus 3 as one number. Okay, and we will jumping into the another number. So we can take minus 3 2. Similarly we can take minus 3 and 0. Similarly we can take minus 3 and 4, and so on. So if we take minus 3 as one fixed number, then we can have n minus 1 elements as options for another number. The same way, if we take this 2 as your first number, this 2 as your first number, then we can have the rest of the elements for after this rest of the numbers we can take as another number. Okay, so in brute force approach, for each of the number, the coming numbers are the options. Okay, the forward numbers, which are these, are the options for making the pair. So in that approach, let's see the time and space complexity. So in brute force approach, what we seen here is, if we take this number, then there will be n minus 1 elements. Okay, if we take this number, then we have n minus 2 elements as our options. See, if we minus these two numbers, we will be having n minus 2 numbers. If you minus this number, we will be having n minus 1 numbers. Here n denotes the number of elements in the array. Okay, so if first we have to check it. So if the first number is this, then we have to check by summing this, by summing this, by summing this. So we will do n minus 1 operations in the first iteration. The same, if the first number is this, then we will do n minus 2 operations to check whether the sum is coming equal to the target or not. And also, why we are not getting back? Because minus 3 and 2 is already included in this first iteration. Then there is no question to go back. When we start, when our first number is 2, then we are not going to sum of this because it is already included in previous iteration. Okay, so in that case, first of all, we are going through n minus 1 iteration, summing the n minus 1 times, then summing n minus 2 times, then summing n minus 3 times, and so on, so on. Okay, so overall, how much operations we are doing? It will be the sum of the total of individual iterations. Okay, so it comes like n into n minus 1 by 2, that is big O of n square. Okay, so it time complexity is very huge. And for the space complexity, we are not taking anything, we are just taking the index of two numbers. Okay, and what must be the optimal one? So optimal one will be the n log n. Why? Because we will see in the next slide that for that we will do it by using two pointer approach, and before that we have to sort the array, and we know that the inbuilt sort function in C++ requires n log n time complexity. Okay, so it comes due to sorting. So I have given you the idea that what we are going to do, we are just finding a pair of numbers so that we can reach up to the target, and if we reach the target, then we will send the indices of those numbers. In brute force approach, our time complexity is order of n squared, because in each iteration we have to do uh, a lot of operations. Okay, like n minus 1 for the first, n minus 2 for the second. So we have to visit all one by one. Okay, so let's see what is the two pointer approach. So in two pointer approach, what we do, we will first sort the element. Let's see here. The elements are minus 3, 2, 0, 4. Okay, and minus 4. Minus 4 is coming after 4. So this array is not sorted. Okay, so we have sorted the array first, minus 4, minus 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So likewise, you can see that this array is in a sorted manner. We will take two pointers. One is start and one is end. Start will point to the left end and end will point to the right end. Let's understand carefully what the two pointer algorithm says. So first we will add these numbers, array of start plus array of end. Okay, so first we will add those numbers. So if sum of these two numbers comes the target, then we will return the indices of these two numbers. Okay. If the sum is greater than target, if the sum of these two numbers is greater than target, अगर हमारा सम जो है वो टारगेट से ज्यादा आ रहा है, तो अपन को क्या करने की जरूरत है, अपन कम करेंगे नंबर्स को। जो नंबर हम चूज कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे, वो हम ज्यादा नंबर ले रहे हैं, तभी तो सम हमारा बहुत ज्यादा आ रहा है ना। वो सम को कम करना है टारगेट से। तो बात ये है कि कम कैसे कर सकते हैं अपन, ये इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर में है तो या तो आप स्टार्ट को कम कर दो, लेफ्ट साइड मूव कर दो, या फिर इंड को लेफ्ट साइड मूव कर दो। लेफ्ट साइड मीन्स इन सॉर्टेड एरे, लेफ्ट साइड मीन्स वी आर डिक्रीजिंग द नंबर। So we can decrease the start and decrease the end. But see here, the start is the last element. We cannot decrease the index because there are no numbers left to the start. So we have to decrease the end number. Okay. So whenever the sum is greater than target, means whatever the number we have choose is very large. So we have to decrease that. So how we will decrease that? We will move end towards left. Whenever we move left, we are decreasing the number. So we cannot move left to the start, but we can move left to the end number. So we are doing end minus minus, means decrementing the end by 1. Okay. Let's take another case, that if the sum of the start and end, sum of start and end is less than target, means whatever the number we have chosen, that sum is very less than target, then we have to increase those numbers na, then only we can reach the target. Then how to increase the numbers? We have to move right. Okay, so in order to move right, we will increase the end, increase, we can increase the end, or we can increase the start, because start and end are two numbers. But see here, we cannot increase the end because it will be fatal. It will give the error. There are no elements after end. So we have to move the start by 1. So here, see in the third row, that whenever our sum is less than target, we are increasing. But we have to increase the start, not the end. Okay. Similarly, when the sum was very high than the target, then for decreasing that, we have to decrease the end, not to decrease the start. So overall, I am pretty much assured that you are getting the kind of logic. Okay. So I am giving a lot of time for the logic building. And if the case I have already discussed, that if the start and end sum equals the target, then basically we will um, insert the index into the vector and we will return that. Okay. So now overall we have seen the logic behind it, behind the two pointers. And whenever a start crosses the end, it means that we have we have crossed all the elements of the array. Whenever a start becomes greater than the end, then what we can do, we have traversed all the elements of the array, then our work will be finished. Okay. So we have discussed the time complexity, logic, and now we are moving towards the code part. Okay. So I hope the screen is visible to you. So let's discuss. So what we have been given, we have given the nums as a vector, means array, and we have been given the target. Okay. So what we have to do, we have to return the indices of those numbers. That's why I have taken the return type here is vector int. That's why what we are going to do, we have taken the result as a vector. Okay. Also, let's try to understand. We have to take a vector of pair of int. Okay. Why I am taking this? See, we have to return the indices, but whenever I have told you, we have to sort the array, but whenever we sort the array, overall the actual indices of those numbers becomes altered. If we sort the numbers, then we will be missing the actual indices of the numbers. So we can't do that. That's why to um, to keep the indices as well as numbers, we are making pair. Okay. So first of all, what we can do, we are just inserting those numbers. Okay, numbers as well as their indices. So just push back what? Push back the pair. So pair will be done by make pair. What we are doing here, that we are going to insert the number as well as their its index. Nums I means number, I means index. Okay. So after doing that, we have to, yeah, so can find now. When we have inserted the indices as well as the numbers, we have to sort it. Okay. So let's sort by inbuilt, using inbuilt function. V dot begin, V dot end. Okay. And after sorting, we have to, what we have to do? We have to take two pointer which are start is equal to 0 and end equals to what? V dot size minus 1. Okay. So the overall size of a vector V will be equal to the num size. Okay. So we have taken the two pointer, and now I have to run the loop till start crosses the end. Okay. So for that, we will take the sum of the start and end. But here see here, V, each element of vector V is a pair, and the first element of the pair is is number, and the second one is index. So we are basically adding the numbers. So we will take the first element of the pair. Okay, we will take in the first element of the pair, and we are getting the sum. Now we will use the if else statements, like if sum equals target, then what we will do? Then we will push back in result the indices of the start. Okay. So for the indices, we are pushing back the, what we are doing? We push back the second element of the pair, which are the indices of that numbers. Okay. So if the sum equals the target, then push back the index of the numbers, and the numbers are our start and ending, v of start, v of end, and return the result. Okay. If it is not the case, and if sum is greater than target, if sum comes greater than target, then we have to minimize the sum. And how to minimize the sum? End minus minus. Okay. And the last case, if the sum is less than target, then increase the start. Okay. Then increase the start. So overall, yeah. So that's was the overall idea. Let's see. In the last, we have to return the result. Okay. So let's run the code. So the overall code got accepted. So let's run for whole. So the code is accepted now. Okay. So what happened, I am just repeating again what we have taken overall. The idea was that the result we are taking, okay, result vector, and why we have make vector of pair, because we have to sort it. And for the sorting, if we sort the original array, then we lost their indices. That's why we have taken the vector of pair. Then we push back all the elements of the original array and their indices. Okay, after pushing back we are sorting. Why we do sorting? Because in two pointer approach there is mandatory that we have to sort it. Okay, otherwise we can't go further. Okay, further move ahead. And after sorting we will take two pointer and run a while loop, and there will be three cases which we have already discussed in detailed manner. So that was overall video, and if you like it, if it is beneficial for you, then please do share and subscribe as well, and kindly hit the bell icon. Okay, so thank you, and God bless you.